Jay-Z was denied getting his lawsuit thrown out against him and Diddy. The judge just responded to Jay-Z and his lawyers' multiple motions that they filed, and she said, you are not going to get this case thrown out. This Jane Doe, for the time being, is still going to be able to remain anonymous. And also, she started calling out Alex Spiro for his tactics. This is crazy. The judge said that the merits on Carter's motion to strike is denied. And that's basically him saying that this lawsuit needs thrown out because this Jane Doe had multiple inconsistencies. The judge said that this is generally disfavored and will be granted only if there is a strong reason to do so. Carter's motion, which summarily asserts that the plaintiff's claims are baseless and salacious, does not clear that high bar. And now this is where the judge gets into talking about all the motions that Jay-Z and his lawyers have filed since this Jane Doe named Jay-Z in this lawsuit. I already said that that was a lot, and it was kind of looking a little sketchy, and I said that this judge was probably not going to be happy about it, and she calls that out very clearly. Since Carter's attorney first appeared in this case 17 days ago, he has submitted a litany of letters and motions attempting to impugn the character of the plaintiff's lawyer, Tony Buzbee. She said that they were using this to get urgency on this case. She talks about how Jay-Z and his lawyer were trying to say that Tony Buzbee was just using this victim for self-promoting, and they were also accusing him of extortion. And because of this, they were requesting that this be heard on an expedited basis, and they accused the plaintiff's counsel of exploiting the legal process to generate media attention. Jay-Z's lawyer also said that Tony Buzbee was seeking only to benefit himself, and they requested a shortening of the deadline from 21 days to 1 day. Baby, this judge claps back fast to all of these motions. She said that Carter's lawyer's relentless filing of combative motions containing inflammatory language and attacks is inappropriate and a waste of judicial resources. It is a tactic that is unlikely to benefit his client. This court will not fast-track the judicial process merely because the counsel demands it. She goes on to say that Jay-Z's lawyer also says that Tony Buzbee was having a chronic inability to follow the rules. Carter's counsel has failed to abide by the court's clear rules under the court's individual practices in civil cases. She said a pre-motion letter is required prior to filing any motion. Although Carter's attorney stated that he intended to file immediately a motion to strike the First Amendment complaint, he did not give the plaintiff 5 business days to respond, or wait for the court to set a motion to schedule, or state whether any exception to the court's individual practices applied. This is unacceptable. The counsel is hereby advised that any further motions filed in violation of the court's individual practices may be denied on that ground alone. Lastly, Carter's attorney is entitled to file a Rule 11 motion without first seeking leave of court, but the court discourages this approach. If he still intends to serve the plaintiff with a motion for sanctions, the court denies his request to shorten the safe harbor provisions contained within Rule 11, which is a normal 21 days, and Alex Spiro wanted it to be 1 day. So she's saying, no, you are getting denied that if that's what you are thinking you are going to do. It's not happening. And for now, the Jane Doe is going to be able to remain anonymous. It was granted by the judge, and they advised that the balance of these factors will certainly shift as this case proceeds, especially if and when the parties engage in discovery. The court intends to revisit this decision on a further date. And this is a normal thing that a lot of judges are doing. So a lot of these Jane and John Does are able to remain anonymous while all of these court proceedings are happening. But when they are getting closer to trial, then they will eventually have to reveal themselves. And it's the same exact thing that we saw what happened to Anna Kane when she had to come out because her trial is coming up in January. Jane Doe's statements on why she needed to remain anonymous were stronger than Jay-Z's statements about why she would have to reveal herself right now. The judge took into consideration that she was allegedly given substances and SA'd when she was only 13 years old. And these accusations are highly sensitive and extremely personal in nature. She is saying that this Jane Doe is particularly vulnerable to possible harms of disclosure, according to her amended complaint, because she experiences depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and a seizure disorder associated with the stress of the SA. And she also takes into consideration in the plaintiff's lawsuit, they name all of the other clients who have filed similar lawsuits against Diddy, who claim to have been threatened by Diddy for their decision to speak out. So this lawyer is saying that this is why this Jane Doe gets to remain a Jane Doe for the time being until it gets closer to trial. All of this is absolutely crazy, and I honestly wasn't expecting this judge to call out Alex Spiro like she did. I was like, oh, but y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.